Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Roy Sam from Mortar Trading here, and today we are looking at NAKD. Like I said, I was going to make a follow-on video of the companies which NAKD could be acquiring. We know Justin is currently in New York so we are going to look at companies within New York that are intimate apparel / e-commerce clothing companies and see which ones are realistic targets for NAKD and what they could be looking to acquire. In addition, I did want to do a quick graphical analysis as well as to where we are, because as you can see, we have added a few levels of support to the bearish flag which I set earlier. So we are in a very, very strong position to see that reversal still. That anyone who is promoting, FUDs or anything like that, look at the graph itself. Look how many support points we have now on this graph. It's absolutely monumental, the amount of support levels we currently have on this graph, and I am very, very excited for what is coming up in the future, because as you know, well, what I predict, at least, I'm not sure it's going to happen. Like I said, I do this for entertainment purposes only and not financial advice. Just put a disclaimer out there. I'm expecting to see a reversal once we hit this point around here. Like I said, I reckon next week, in the next weeks of trading, we will see a reversal for NAKD, and we'll see if I'm right. I don't always get it right, but I get it right a decent amount of the time, so it'll be interesting to see what happens, and I am excited for that. And looking at the MACD of yesterday's trading, because obviously it's Saturday today. Yesterday we were trying to get that bullish cross, the golden cross that I was telling you all about. We did try it at the start, but we just couldn't quite get over that cross line, and that is why we have stayed pretty flat and just slightly going down in that bearish flag which I set previously. The RSI as well is suggesting that we have been slightly oversold, but again, nothing that's going to tarnish the price too much. And as you can see, that pretty much was replicated in the price action. I mean, what is 1 penny really? It's not much. It's just constantly going down slightly. But as you can see, we are nearing the end of this bearish flag, and hopefully we could see some very positive price action to come in the next week, in my opinion. All my opinion, not financial advice, but I thought I'd put that out there before we start looking at potential acquisitions for NAKD. I also, before I get into the acquisitions, I wanted to bring up this tweet here. I know that we've looked at this already, but I wanted to point out a couple things. Now, in my previous video, I said that he may just be going over for a holiday. However, as you can clearly see, he said that it's going to be a busy few weeks ahead for NAKD, which is very, very positive, because that means that he could be, well, in negotiations. That would make him busy. So, that leads me to think even more that there's going to be some sort of acquisition in the works and being negotiated as we speak. Okay, so the first brand which I wanted to bring to people's attention is ThirdLove. Now, I'm not sure if I did speak about this. I think I may have mentioned it in the last video that I did about all the potential acquisitions, right? However, ThirdLove is actually on my radar at the moment, because they are an intimate apparel site. They do a load of different intimate apparel features and different clothing. So it's not a high possibility, but there is a possibility that this could be one of the companies which Justin is actually currently speaking to. And it's fairly easy to say that they're currently based in California, San Francisco. So, if you have to think of sort of an in the middle meeting point for both the companies, and potentially New York City could be that, because as we know, from flying from New Zealand or from Australia all the way over to New York, and I think that's a pretty good central point, because it would take an extra 4 hours on a plane to get from New York to to California, I believe. I don't quote me on that. I might be wrong with that, but I believe that is correct. So, very, very interesting stuff. And obviously this would be a very, very nice acquisition. It fits into the e-commerce structure which NAKD is currently going towards. So, having that acquisition within there could be a positive catalyst for NAKD's price action to really skyrocket up, because although it may not go up automatically, because ThirdLove, it doesn't really have that highest stock price at the moment. ThirdLove is one of those growing brands because it has so much potential, and if it has a bit more cash behind it, a bit more money to advertise their products, the sky's the limit for this company, honestly. And, you know, having NAKD's backing could really boost the company's portfolio and actually make it a very, very, very profitable company and compete with the likes of, you know, ASOS and all those massive brands who we think is out of the question at the moment. But you never know. This company does have the potential, and it has a pretty good staff team behind it. Now, one of the people behind it is Heidi Zak, I believe, is a co-founder within this company, and she is actually a Google marketer. So she has that knowledge in like Google advertisement. She knows how the algorithm and the system works. So, you know, having that marketing, that modern day marketing sort of co-founder, it is a very, very potentially good acquisition because she could teach NAKD so much. And we all know that Google ads and Facebook ads, etc., that is the new way of advertising. You know, for my clothing company, DLC Apparel, for anyone who doesn't know, I use Google ads and Facebook ads so much on there because it's a great way to reach new audiences, cold and hot target audiences. So, you know, having that knowledge and giving it to NAKD so Justin and stuff could learn. I mean, it probably won't be Justin, but his marketing team could learn a bit more. It's a great way that they could collaborate. Now, you know, that is just one of my first acquisitions, which I just wanted to put on the table, potential, but we are now going to move into the next one. Now, the next company which I actually had sort of on my radar recently is Bella Wholesale. Now, hear me out. I know, wholesale. What are you on about, Sam? Why on earth would NAKD want to partner with a wholesale company and basically a company that creates clothing? Now, I know. It's not what we all think, right? It's not something which we actually had in our minds, right? We never thought that NAKD would partner with an actual wholesaler and someone who actually creates the clothing. We thought that they'd be partnered with an e-commerce platform or an e-commerce company, right? However, it is a possibility that they would partner with a wholesaler / a manufacturer of clothing. And the reason for that is because it would give them a very, very strong link and a very, very valuable contact and a subsidiary to hook up future e-commerce companies with a much cheaper way of producing the clothing. Now, you'll have to understand e-commerce in general. Majority of the companies that you see doing e-commerce and stuff, they actually source their clothing elsewhere, right? But they have the means to be able to promote very, very well and have that marketability to be able to sell at retail price and make a flip profit of it. And, you know, a lot of these companies actually order from a lot of countries that aren't as well off. So, for example, certain items of my DLC apparel come from countries like Pakistan. You know, I have contacts within there, and, you know, I get clothing a lot cheaper than if I sourced it within the UK. And that is a general practice that a lot of these e-commerce businesses are currently using because their profit margins are a lot larger. Now, Bella Wholesale is actually based within New York City. So that is why I put it in as a possibility, and also to educate you on how e-commerce works. Now, that is not all companies, right? And I know some e-commerce companies will produce their own clothing, like maybe a lot of the massive ones, right? And a lot of the bigger ones, they will have the means to produce their own clothing. But I believe companies like ASOS source their clothing from different places around the world, and they just accumulate it in all of their different warehouses around the world, right? And I'm sure the warehouse prices in Pakistan are a lot cheaper than, you know, warehouse prices within the US. And that's just because, you know, the whole economic system and the economic background of those specific countries, right? So I wanted to bring up this possibility. You know, you never know really with NAKD. I mean, they partnered with Bendon, for Christ's sakes. Like, Bendon was not a good company to partner with. So, you know, this right here would actually be, it would be a good company to partner with, because it would open up a lot of doors and actually help out their future subsidiaries, because it will give them some sort of it would give them a supplier to directly buy off and increase their profit margins further. So I wanted to put that possibility out there, throw it out there, throw the idea out there so you all can understand. I just wanted to take this moment to say, if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel. 72% of all of you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel. That's crazy. That's mad. I'm joking. You don't have to sub, but, you know, it costs nothing. And, you know, I put a lot of time and effort into these videos, so I'd appreciate it massively if you all could subscribe. But yeah, let's move back onto the video. Now, a company which I brought up before, and this was one which, you know, I said within my last video, and I did a big segment about Fleur de Mal. Now, Fleur de Mal is based within New York City, is on 175 Mott Street. Now, it'll be interesting to see whereabouts sort of Justin is currently staying within New York. But this is a potential acquisition, and it fits the NAKD business model, right? I'm not sure if I could show that. I don't want to get demonetized or anything, but yeah, like, seriously though, like, NAKD could really pick up this company. Honestly, like, there is so much potential, and it fits the branding, and it fits the business image of NAKD. This company is a flourishing e-commerce business within intimate apparel, and that's exactly what NAKD is currently looking for, to develop that e-commerce centric platform and to basically provide, you know, contacts for these e-commerce platforms to go even further. So, for example, this company here, Fleur de Mal, can, if NAKD acquire them, could then list their products on Fredericks of Hollywood, which is a much bigger site than what this currently is, right? So all of these different sort of acquisitions are going to add up, and it will be a very profitable business for NAKD. And, you know, it will provide a catalyst further down the line when we see their financial reports. I'm pretty sure about that, because I'm sure these companies here have very nice profit margins, and, you know, I think that they are on track to do very well for themselves. Now, that is Fleur de Mal. Let's move on to the next one. So this right here is another potential. Now, Bombas is also based in New York City, and although it's not on their website, if you look on Twitter, you can see it, their current location and where they're currently selling out of is New York City. So that is a positive sign, and it is a reason why it's sort of on the radar. I mean, it's not a massive one on the radar because they don't do the normal intimate apparel which NAKD specialize in. However, NAKD might want to just specialize in e-commerce clothing instead of specifically intimate apparel. They may be trying to broaden their target market and their target audience. You know, they could really want to change their brand image and actually go for a much wider scope and, you know, target a lot more people. Sorry about that. My gran decided to post some mail through my window, so that's what happened there. So that's sort of why I glanced over there. Like, I was just so confused what the heck was going on. So as you can sort of see, they are actually a solid company. I like this company a lot. So we believe a more comfortable world is a better world. Everyone, no matter their circumstances, deserves to put on clean clothes that feel good. So we perfected socks, underwear, and t-shirts that you'll want to live in. So they're going for more of a comfort brand. It's not exactly intimate apparel, which is obviously what NAKD specialize in, but in casual clothing, in comfortable clothing, it could be a nice little demographic and a nice pocket for NAKD to try and branch out of. And, you know, this is all my opinion, not financial advice, but I think if NAKD acquires any of these companies which I've mentioned throughout the video, it could provide a lot of good price action for us retail investors and a lot more just good positive vibes within the NAKD group, really, because, you know, we've been waiting for PR for a while. So if they partner with any of the companies which I've said throughout the video, I would be happy, because the companies within this video show a high potential. They have good profit margins generally, and there is a lot of scope to grow off. So, you know, this is all my opinion, not financial advice. And with that being said, if you haven't already, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. It really helps the channel out. And we're currently on the road to 2,000 subscribers. We're currently 50 off, right? 50. So if you all have enjoyed this video, subscribe, please. We are so close. And, you know, I thank you all so much for providing me this platform to be able to speak to you all on and to make my voice heard. So thank you for watching. This has been Sam from our train. See you next video on the channel. Take care, everyone.